Hi guys, my name is Nicolette Mashile. I am also known as the Financial Bunny. Today I'll be talking about tips to make your network marketing business into a great success. Now, of course, the video is brought to you by IFA. Just a reminder, if you're new on the channel, nothing that I say on any of my videos constitutes as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please speak to somebody who is certified and registered to be a financial advisor with the FSCA. So let's jump straight into it. And I'll give you a bit of an account, right? So a couple of years ago, for those who know my story as to how I became or how I ended up owning a credit card. If you don't know, so I was walking in a mall this one day. And you know those guys who sit at the center of the mall, or those places where it's like open in the mall and they are selling things. The mamas will be selling like African beaded things. They'll be selling scarves, sunglasses. My brothers there from Pakistan will be there fixing cell phone screens. And then of course they are the guys who sell the gym membership. The guys who make you feel bad about yourself and your weight. And then sometimes you find some of the guys who come from different brands. And on this specific day, the guys who were sitting there were guys from Nedbank. And they were selling credit cards, or they were signing people up for credit cards. Essentially, I don't know whether you can sell a financial product or you register people for a financial product like a credit card, whatever. So these guys were sitting there and they were selling it using a bottle and a lanyard. They were saying, do you want a free lanyard? Do you want a free water bottle? And I was like, well, I'm in the market for a free water bottle. I'm in the market for a free lanyard. So went there, signed up for a free lanyard, or got myself a free lanyard and a free water bottle by signing up for a Nedbank credit card. Okay, smack bam, got my card this one day, got delivered to where I worked, and in one day maxed out my credit card. In my defense, it was only 500 rand, that was my limit. So I maxed it out in literally one day. And of course, end of the month came and I had to now start paying for this thing. And I decided that, nah, I'm not gonna pay for this because this makes no sense for me to pay for something that I used 30 days ago and I can't use it anymore. So what is the point? Anyway, the reason why I tell you this is because that was my first step into getting into debt, right? So got into debt, got credit card debt, and all of a sudden had to find a plan of getting out of this. A couple of years later, I started going onto the internet to look for debt reduction strategies. And one of the ones I found was the snowball method. And the snowball method said you needed to find an additional income stream or some disposable income so that you can allocate that money into one of your debts. And the first debt that I wanted to kill was my credit card debt. So decided that I was going to go into network marketing. Beautiful, right? So I looked for a network marketing company that I could essentially make money from, and eventually I found one. I was selling beauty products, right? No, it didn't work. So one of the things that they tell you is that you need to find your warm market. So, you know, you've got your cold market, you've got your warm market, and then you've got your very hot market. So your cold market would be people that would never even think of buying anything from you, people that you have yourself not really thought about. So these are people who don't even know you exist. Then your warm market is people like your family, your friends. These are people that kind of know you and would want to buy things from you. And then of course the hot market, these are people that are coming to you saying, we're buying right now. So generally what they teach you is deal with your warm market first. So your family, you know, people that kind of know you, maybe they don't know your product, but they kind of know you, right? So that is kind of your first market. So that's what I went deep into. So I was selling my beauty products to my family, to my friends, and they were all buying. I probably think they were buying because I was somebody they knew and they felt sorry for me, and they didn't want to feel guilt for not supporting my little hustle. So they bought the first month. They bought. It was amazing. The second month, they did not buy because they're my friends and family. So they were buying out of guilt. Now, guilt only lasts for so long. They ain't gonna buy the second time. They're just like, Nicolette, but we bought last month. That was my biggest mistake that I made with network marketing. And now that I know better, whenever I do get into network marketing, I'm going to do it better. But here are 7 tips of how you can make your networking marketing business really do well. And the one that goes without saying, so I put this at tip number 0. It goes without saying, if you're going to go into network marketing, you've got to remember it is a business. It's not a hobby. It's not cute. You're not doing things for cuteness. You're not doing things because you're trying to make people happy or you're trying to sound like you are a great salesperson. You're doing this because you want to make money. If you want to make money, you're going into a business. So you've got to see it as an actual business. From there, I moved to tip number 1. Tip number 1 is you've got to know your target audience. You cannot be selling slimming tea to somebody who's not looking to slim. Facts. Yes, you may not know what everybody's needs and wants are, but the reality is you've got to create your target audience so that when you are going to be selling or when you are going to be putting your stuff out there, people need to know that this is something they would be interested in, not to annoy people. So anybody that's not interested in financial education, every time they say Nicolette's videos, they get annoyed. I know. With me, even people who need financial education get annoyed. But I'm just saying that if I am going to be putting out budgeting to somebody who's already budgeting, they don't want to hear any more budgeting stuff because they're already doing it. So I need to make sure that I understand who my target audience is. And so do you. If you are going to be going into network marketing, you've got to make sure that you know exactly who your target audience is. And now that we've spoken about target audience, I move to tip number 2, which is something I spoke about. Your strategy cannot be the warm market strategy. It can't be. You can't kick off with that by saying, because someone is my friend, they're going to buy. Yes, the secret to business is to have repetitive buys. Now, if you are selling to people that only want to buy once because they want to get rid of the guilt, they're not going to come back next month. So they're not going to buy. Which is why I always say to people, it is important that when you know your audience, when you know your target audience, when you know your product, because that's also an important part of network marketing, is that you've got to know your product. While on that, let me digress a little bit. Guys, network marketing requires there to be a product. If there's no product or service, then you are in a pyramid scheme, my friend. Because then your job is to recruit. That is not a business. But if there's a product or a service that you are actually putting out there, you are selling, you are educating people on, people then will come if they need the product. If they need it, they will definitely come. And it's not just your family members, it's not just your friends, it's other people on the outside who are going to be interested because, oh my goodness, Nicolette is selling a solution to a problem that I actually have. Which takes me to tip number 3, stop begging. Stop the begging. You don't need to beg people to buy. If I need something, I don't need you to beg me to buy because I understand the value that I'm going to derive from whatever it is that you are selling or the product you're selling or the service that you're offering me. I don't need you to beg me, to convince me, to manipulate me into buying. You don't need to put this big person, if you're selling slimming tea, this big person and say, oh my goodness, if you want to lose weight, this is the perfect way to do it. Drink my slimming tea. No, I promise you, I already know I'm overweight. I already know I need to lose weight. So if your product is something that I think is going to work, I'm going to come forward. If you're selling life insurance, I know I'm going to die. But now I know I understand why life insurance is a better product than a funeral cover. I don't need you to convince me. I already know it. Understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is make sure that your product or your service is positioned in a manner that people see it as something that solves a problem. Not something that they need to be convinced to get, not something that you gotta beg them to get, not something that you gotta manipulate people to get. They see it as a solution to a problem they already recognize. If you want to play the trickery, perhaps maybe then your job is to make sure people are aware that they've got a problem that they might not recognize. It's very simple. You could do it like that. But the reality is, stop the begging. It sucks. It's desperate. And you are not going to be top of mind whenever I realize that I've got this problem. The next tip of things, tip number 4, is make sure that you yourself are financially savvy. Yo, let me tell you, there's nothing worse than you trying to sell something to me and you yourself have no savviness. You're not budgeting. You're not making sure that your money gets reinvested back into your business. You yourself look like you could take some tips from me when it comes to business. So I'm just like, you need to be financially savvy if you're going to be an entrepreneur. And if you are in network marketing, you're an entrepreneur. So you gotta be financially savvy. You've gotta know your numbers. You've gotta know your thousands from your hundreds to your millions. you got to understand these things. When I say to you, do you have an emergency fund? As an entrepreneur, you got to say yes. Because if I say to you, but what happens when people stop buying the product that you're selling? Then you're like, don't stress, Nicolette. I got this. I've got an emergency fund. I've reinvested my profits of my business into another asset class, or I've re-put it into the business to make sure that we're not only dependent on direct sales, which is tip number 5. You've got to reinvest your business profits into something else, either back into your business to grow the business, to leverage the business, to expand your business, or into another asset class because you believe in diversification. So you take profits from your network marketing business and you put it into maybe property. That's how you reinvest. You do not consume all your profits, because it takes me back to tip number 4, that you are not financially savvy. I mean, that's kind of scary, don't you think? To have somebody who's running a business who is not financially savvy. Tip number 8. Is it 8 or 7? I've lost count. You have to make sure that you're top of mind. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do I advertise so that I get sales? You don't advertise to get sales. Nobody advertises to get sales. You advertise so people know that you exist. You advertise so that your business is out there, because remember, where the sale is going to come from is the day that your customer realizes that you are offering a solution to their problem. But the journey is that your customer needs to realize they've got a problem in the first place. This morning, as I was driving, as I got into the garage, I realized my car is dirty. I have a problem. My car needs to be washed. However, I don't have the time to go to a car wash. So I need to find a mobile car wash. Now, sadly for me, there were no mobile car washes that came to top of mind. So what do? I go into the internet, I Google mobile car washes. And the first 2 that come to the top are the ones I'm going to click on. Then the one that makes it easy for me to book is the one I'm definitely going to book. So you've got to become top of mind. I've got to remember you, because let me tell you, people don't remember the best when they are looking for a solution. What they do is they remember who was top of mind. The best only comes into play when now I have used your service before. Then I say, hey, buds, she may be coming top of mind, but I don't like her business. I don't like her service. I don't like her product. Now I make a decision to go to the best. But most people, we go to who is top of mind. If I quickly need a dress for an occasion, I'm remembering the designer, the dressmaker, who's top of mind. If I need a financial product, I'm remembering the service provider who gives me the financial product, who's top of mind. That's how it works. So you've got to become top of mind. That means that you've got to stay on my mind all the time. In other words, you've got to put out your services and product all the time. You've got to give me value. So educate me more. Forget about the product. Educate me on why I need the product. I promise you, I'm going to start remembering you. I'm going to start remembering your product, because it's going to be something that is important to me. And the last tip that I'd like to give you today is you've got to find a balance between doing your 9 to 5 and managing your network marketing business if you are still doing it as a side hustle. Remember, I said it's a business, so it's still called a business. Whether it's a side hustle or not, it's still going to be a business. But you do not want your 9 to 5 to suffer because you are doing this. So how do you do this? You make sure that you leverage off the easy ways of communicating, which is social media. Google AdWords. Use the internet to assist you to communicate when you are busy there at your 9 to 5. So what I used to do when I was still in 9 to 5 and start pushing my business, I would actually schedule my social media posts. I will make sure that every weekend I do a video that goes onto YouTube, and on YouTube it allows me to schedule when I want that video to come out. And then what I would do is I would use an application called Hootsuite. I can't remember what it's called actually. It's Hootsuite. I would then go on Canva, and on Canva I would design all my posts, and then I'd go on Hootsuite and I would actually schedule them to come out the whole week. So when I'm busy doing my advertising, when I was busy doing my advertising job, or sometimes when I was busy in television actually doing a live TV show, some of my things on social media would be coming out. So I would still be communicating on social media while I'm doing something else. So you've got to find that balance between your 9 to 5 and your network marketing business. You don't want it to suffer. It is so important to remember that all these things are things that you can do to make sure that you have a successful network marketing business. As I said, this video is brought to you by IFA. If you are looking for another business opportunity, they may be able to help you. So go and find more information on their IFA business opportunity page on Facebook, and they will give you some tips to finding some new opportunities. Signing out, my name is Nicolette Mashile.